Hey guys, hope you and your families are well. Welcome to the weekly video where I take you through stocks in the MarketSmith Growth 250 list. I think are displaying constructive basing action, cup and handle, VCPs, flags, Darvis boxes, all of that good stuff, impressive relative strength, and tick many of the cancelling boxes. We have 12 stocks to be going through. Half of those are going to be solar stocks, and I'm actually going to start off this video by looking at the solar ETF, ticker TAN. MarketSmith are the sponsor of this video. There is a discounted trial available in the comments below if you are interested. So let's start off with TAN, then I'm going to go through the solar stocks, then we'll start going through the other stocks on the list. So this is ticker TAN on the monthly chart. So I'm schooled in the Wyckoff method, which is very similar to the Stan Weinstein stage analysis. So it's all about price cycle. So on the monthly chart here, we can clearly see for ticker TAN a phase 4 decline into a larger phase 1 accumulation base. Remember, this is in the context of a monthly chart. And then I would still say here that ticker TAN, so solar stocks in general, remain in the context of a stage 2 uptrend, a phase 2 uptrend. We can see on the monthly chart we're building higher lows. There's a lot of shakeout demand tails coming through. It's holding around the monthly 10 EMA now, which is this green line here. Take a look at the RS line. Basically for the whole year, you can see that the RS line here is turning up, and we've potentially got this big flag building, and then this is coinciding with many of the individual solar stocks also looking very interesting. I think solar is going to be an area that's going to see significant growth over the next decade. If you have not watched Tony Seber's videos on energy disruption, I would highly recommend you do that. He has a YouTube channel. If you just search it, you'll find them very easily. So let me start going through the solar stocks first, and then we'll go back through some of the other ones. So Enphase Energy looks to be the real can slim leader. Nice big weekly chart. RS lines look great. Triple digit earnings, accelerating sales, really good estimates. A couple of higher quality growth funds in there as well. And if I just go back down to the daily chart here, I can still see this potential cup and handle. There was a nice shakeout that held the 50 SMA. Really strong recovery yesterday as well. So it's just watching and waiting for this to set up, tighten up. But Enphase Energy looks very interesting. There's a couple other ones, Array Technologies as well. So see how you've got this potential cup and handle type action. Here's the cup, here's the handle, couple of shakeouts. Nice shakeout over the last couple of days underneath the 21 EMA. High quality growth fund establishing a position in the most recently reported quarter. So we like to think of that as where is the smart money going? Where are they initiating positions and or increasing positions? Two most recent earnings reports being in here, both seen positive reactions. So this looks constructive. If it can tighten up around the 1021 EMA, which is the green and pink line there, I think that looks interesting. Really big estimates for the next couple of years. SHLS as well, so positive reaction to the earnings. There was then a secondary offering, I think, which was the reason for this gap down. Holds the 50, and now you can start to see, if I just delete those, it's now starting to build out higher lows. Held the 50 again, so looking for this for a pivot to form somewhere between $25 and $30. Ideally maybe $26, $27, just how these kind of moving averages are shaping up, how I'm kind of seeing the chart at the minute. But something like this in here, really tight action, low pivot in there, that could look very interesting. Very good estimates coming through. Earnings, sales, margins, all of that good stuff accelerating. Solar Edge, so this is another one. Morgan Stanley came out with not Morgan Stanley, it was Goldman Sachs came out with a fairly big price target for Solar Edge, and also First Solar as well as Enphase Energy. Actually, they would be kind of my three favorites at the minute, but it really depends on the quality of the setups. But again, a nice big base here. You've got the RS lines starting to turn up as well. When we go down to the daily chart, a little bit choppy to see, I appreciate that, but potential cup and handle forming. You got the 1021 EMA in there, nice shakeout underneath the 21 EMA, followed by a strong close. Take a look at this RS line turning up, so it needs a little bit of work in here. Just that nice kind of quiet VCP action. The volume's starting to taper off, but another solar stock that's looking fairly strong. First Solar, last of the solar stocks. So technically this one looks the strongest, just in terms of price in relation to moving averages. I don't think it's the best from a reported fundamental standpoint, but the market always knows far more than I do. So final candlestick there, you can see nice shakeout onto the 50, holds just above it, then a really strong close. So looking for this to put in a low pivot around 160, bit of sideways action in there. Just let it consolidate around the 1021 EMA, but that layer could look very nice. Good volume bars coming through on this rally as well. Really nice to see that. So First Solar, another one, but yeah, solar stocks, that TAN, ticker TAN, the solar ETF, I think looks very interesting. Let's go into the others. So I'm still seeing some strength in healthcare biotech areas of the market. TMDX is one that I've got my eye on. Recent shakeout on the 50. RS lines look great. RS rating of 99. High quality growth fund moving in the most recently reported quarter. Potential cut with a high handle forming here. Nice shakeout going on in the handle. Then a potential low pivot around $60 is what I'm looking for. So you got the 1021 there. 50 is underneath that as well. So if it can just tighten up around $60, that is what I'm looking for. If you haven't seen some of my recent videos in terms of trigger bars, that'll give you a good idea of what it is I'm looking for. TMDX has a history of being able to build some constructive basis and also trend okay as well. Futu. So Chinese stocks are an area where I'm seeing strength as well. So you've got Futu, you've got TME, you've got PDD to name but a few. So potential high tight flag, finding supportive action on the 21 EMA in here, which is nice to see. Maybe I can get down to the 60-minute chart and you guys can see it a little bit more clearly. No, not really. Let's stay on the daily chart. So finding supportive action on the 21 EMA. So just looking for it to basically bounce, put in a higher low, just then let a trigger bar form on the 1021 EMA. That's basically what I'm looking for, and then potentially be targeting it something like that. So it needs a little bit of work. Want to see a bounce, high low come in first, and then price action to get really tight. Volume's already drying up there nicely, but Chinese stocks, obviously a bit of a reopening in China, or parts of China, is maybe the catalyst for a lot of the runs that we're seeing. If I just go off topic, so you got the likes of a PDD. You can see PDD pretty strong. TME looks one of the strongest ones as well. So see these really nice moves in here. Now it's just a case of watching and waiting for those perfect pivots set up in the context of some high tech flags maybe. Let's go on to some other ones. So the next two are going to be coal stocks. So I don't know from the kind of fundamental reason why coal stocks are strong, but they are strong. We can see some nice VCP action going on here. Okay, you see this high lows, high lows, high lows, nice bounce off the 50 SMA. Then you're starting to tighten up around the 1021 EMA, which is nice to see. Big earnings, big sales, improving margins as well. So just watching for a low pivot. I'd rather target a low pivot than a higher base breakout on these coal stocks. Again, commodity stocks, they just are generally just much more difficult to trade. Very big earnings estimates coming through with forward guidance up as well. So just needs a little bit of time in here just to put in some very tight trigger bars. But coal stocks, some of them looking pretty strong. Next one is BTU, which is another coal stock. So you can see just high low, high low, high low, high low, high low in the context of a big base. Triple digit earnings, high sales, margins look pretty good as well. And you can see that you get the 1021 there. There was a little bounce off the 50 as well. So there's the bounce off the 50. Now this pink line is the 10 EMA, this green line is the 21 EMA. So that's creating potentially a low pivot in the high 20s, around $28, $29. So if it just continues to tighten up in there, volume is drying up below the 30-day average. Looks interesting. So that there is one that I'm keeping an eye on. Going into a couple of semi stocks. So first one up is AEHR. Now this stock has a history of being able to break out and run fairly well. There was a nice pivot in there. It kind of tightened up in there. It tightened up in here. So it has a history of being able to run well. It tightened up in here as well. Now what I like is how it's just consolidating on the 50 and it's subtly building higher lows. See that? You're getting this kind of little flag type pattern around the 50. Volume is drying up nicely. High earnings, high sales estimates look pretty good, albeit the guidance has come down somewhat for the next couple of years. But I like the reference point at the 50 in terms of the stock has made a big move from about $15 to $28, and then the first pullback to the 50 SMA. That there is an O'Neill rule. So if this can just continue to tighten up in there, put in a trigger bar or two, so I could get initial stop of sub kind of 5%, 4% in there, I think it could look fairly interesting. So that there is a semiconductor stock keeping an eye on. Another semiconductor stock is ticker PI. So positive reaction to the most recent earnings report. A couple of high quality growth funds, one's initiated, one's add, one marginally decreased their positions. Estimates look really good this year, plus 260% with guidance up. Next year 2023 plus 40% with the guidance up as well. Nice shakeout near the 50 in here, nice bounce off the 21 in here and in here. So looking for a low pivot to form around $120. Now what I would like to do is get a low pivot. If you've seen one of my recent videos in terms of active risk mitigation, I'd be looking to target a low pivot in there with a pretty tight stop, free roll it into the higher base around 129 if it sets up like that. Volume is starting to taper off, obviously a little bit of seasonality to that as well, given the time of year. And then finally, one that I seem to cover every week, but I think is very interesting, is Celsius. 3 high quality growth funds initiated a position in the most recently reported quarter, and I'm just watching and waiting for this potential cup and handle. So a little shakeout underneath the 21 EMA. So you've got the 1021 there. So ideally bounces, puts in a higher low, and then just tightens up, something like that, and then I could be looking at a potential low, kind of a mid pivot there. But I think Celsius looks very, very interesting. Weekly chart for Celsius, what chart pattern do you see? Potentially a big cup and handle. Take a look at these RS lines. Stock has a history of being able to trend very well as well. So that's it, guys. I will wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.